2, 1. Hello, we are back here on the ILFL Soccer Night show. Let me just say hello, because I wasn't here last week, and I just wanted to say hello because we had the Champions Cup a couple of weeks ago, and I know teams that were competing in the Champions Cup are watching our show on a weekly basis as well. So hello to you guys there up at Mile End as well, who are there at Meteors as well, and all the other teams that took part. Gower All-Stars, hello, you're here on the ILFL Soccer Night show, and we expect to see you, if you can make it through the next round, here on the show to talk about your exploits as well. But right now, let's get back to more local and important things. We've got the second division to wrap up in the ILFL league. Let's have a look at the second division results from yesterday. Here they are on the screen for you now. Amy, I don't want to call you Amy, you might have some big blokes in the team or whatever. AMY, you beat Arsenal by 6-3, putting their run to a little bit of a halt. St. Catherine's, it's still going for you. 3 shredded wheat every morning is doing it for you. You beat Redcoat by 4-2. That puts you hot on the heels of Walthamstow Red Star, who smashed West End 6-0. And the Fish Islanders, well done to you. Your second win of the season, beating Tower Hamlets by an impressive 8-0. I bet there was a few sherbets shed that afternoon, because in the division now, you are now 3 points clear of Riverside at the bottom. That's your little tussle going on there. But I have to say, Riverside still got a couple of games on you, so who knows what's going to happen there. What's happened to Riverside, though? They're never, ever going to catch you. Why are they not going to catch you? Because
they have they're not performing. They have some player issues. They haven't played last 2 weeks because I think they're trying to restructure the team itself, and they're getting some problems. So hopefully by next week we'll have that sorted out for you.
Let's see what happens there. At the top of the table, can we see the tables, please? At the top of the table, Red Star are 5 points clear of St. Catherine's, but St. Catherine's have a game in hand, and I'm sure that game in hand is not against Walthamstow Red Star. It's looking very tasty at the top. Redcoat are in and amongst it, but 8 points away from the leaders. I don't know what more they can do apart from win all their remaining games and see what happens to the rest of them, because, you know, I've seen some bizarre results that Walthamstow Red Star have won by, but how have Redcoat managed to score more goals in a season than Walthamstow? I don't know. 66 goals already. AMY Arsenal, West End Reserve, you guys are making up the mid-table, and then it's the best of the rest down at the bottom. Who's doing it for you in the second division, Nanu?
I think it's Redcoat.
Yeah?
The number of goals, the highest in those 3 other divisions, you know, the highest goal per game as well, you know. You can imagine, you know, a couple of seasons ago, you know, people were just writing them off, thinking that that's one of the teams that will take many seasons to show some of the brilliant work that they've been doing. But come this season, they're flourishing. You know, the number of goals that they're scoring. I mean, I've played against them when I was playing for St. Catherine's, and the way they move the ball around, the team ethic, how they perform is absolutely brilliant, and it's one of those teams that people should be keeping a close eye on, because they're ever changing. You know, they keep bringing in new players, they're trying different things out. The preparation is absolutely fantastic. They've also had a change of management about sort of 9 months ago, you know, which probably has helped a little bit as well, because the new management seems to be doing a fantastic job. You know, so well done.
Yeah. I think touching on that, I think Kausa, who manages, I spoke to him. I said, "What have you done different?" I think with certain teams, you'll find it that they're in a comfort zone. They recruit players within the local area. Redcoat being in the Stepney area, the majority of them are friends. They know each other. It's within the area itself. And this is what they've done: is got players from outside. So rather than just sticking to your local area, they've gone outskirts and got a few more players, and they're quite good in terms of scoring goals. And that's why I think they got. So credit to them for going out the comfort zone and getting more players, adding to the squad. And this year, obviously, they've been a threat to the league itself. Because I think in the previous season, they were doing okay. Some games win, some games lost. But this season, they're looking threat. They're looking good.
Who else is doing it for you? Who's doing it for you?
I must say, I don't know what Martin's done with his team, because very, very poor start. But the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've actually watched one of the games when they played Walthamstow Red Star, and they were fabulous. They were strong, they were fast, and they had passion, the drive, and they were playing good football. So in the last 4 or 5 weeks, St. Catherine's, for me, have been the team to watch. Walthamstow Red Star doing what they've been doing all season. I think they're a very established team. You can tell by the coaches, the managers, the amount of senior players that turn up on the game. It's really nice to see. There are 5, 6 senior guys turning up to make sure the youth are playing, some of the experienced players are playing, and the way they play football, and it's really organised, and they're all kitted out in track suits and tops, etc. I like the setup, and they have a good team. They play in a Saturday league, so it's a second team in itself. So I think it shows how the club, being an established club, how they're progressing in a professional manner, and they're getting results. I think they learned the lesson when they lost a couple of weeks back with St. Catherine's. Since then, they've stepped it up. They said, you know what, they can't afford to have another result like that. And I think credit goes to the club itself. I think so. Those 3 teams are miles away from the other teams, and you have to give credit to those teams for how they've been performing this season.
Yeah, and they do get a lot of support from the management as well. In any fixture day, you'll see at least 3 members of the senior club members who are not players.
Even board members turn up.
Board members, they all turn up. They're all encouraging the players, all trying a few things out. They're talking to each other, saying how this player is performing and how that player is performing, and they're moving and changing things around. And they'll be shouting from the sides and moving players around. That's what we need in that league, And to have that is what you need for a club to be able to succeed as successful as they have been.
It does look like a successful model that's been put together there at Walthamstow. That's not to belittle what anybody else is doing in the league, but Walthamstow Red Star, what more can you do? You heard me say in the last section that maybe in order to see what maybe the teams in the first and second divisions could do against some of the bigger boys, right on time. This week we have the ILFL League Cup sponsored by Tower Hamlets Homes. Those games are taking place this week. Here are the fixtures on the screen for you right now, just to remind yourselves. And just while we're running through that, we're talking about Walthamstow Red Star up against London Tigers, a big game for Walthamstow. This really is a step up for them now, isn't it?
I think they relished the challenge when they played Robin Hood Tigers a couple of weeks back. It was the Division 1 sides. I think they were looking forward to it, and they won convincingly 3-0. London Tigers, I think, will be a step too high for them. But I think it's not about the result. I think the Walthamstow Red Star would appreciate playing a Premiership, just for the sheer experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
And obviously, on the day, we know the Cup games is a chance, but it's a David and Goliath situation. And would David conquer?
Do you know what? I think it's a little bit closer than a David Goliath situation.
You think so?
Yes, I do.
I see them regularly basically play Hector Marshall. I've seen Tigers. I think he's a David Goliath. Oh, maybe I'm wrong in my opinion. But it'll be a good experience. I think they'll cherish the experience, the chance to play against a top side like Tigers, a Premiership, one of those championship contenders. So I think they'll like the experience, and they'll give it a go. They will definitely give it a go. London Tigers may just have a bit too much for them on the day, but obviously it's a cup game. Everyone's got a chance. Why not? Give it a go, and that can be the shock of the fixture itself for next week.
I'm not so sure that would be the shock of that tie, but what other game sticks out for you in the games coming in this weekend?
I think one of the other games that really sticks out for me is Crusaders versus Leytonstone. Crusaders are a new team, winning everything. Leytonstone not doing too well, but having said that, they do step up the game when it comes to a cup game anyway. So they've got a massive pool of resources that they can pull in players, from different places and get them to play in the cup game. So we'll see what happens, But one thing that I wanted to mention about Crusaders is that, did you guys knew there was a Crusaders team participating in the Irish Premier League?
Yes.
No. Right, okay.
Yes.
And they're also at the top as well. So I'm just wondering if they're using that as an inspiration for the winning race. So who knows? I think
that's quite a big club in the Irish League as well.
Yeah, they are. They're a very big club, yeah. So that's one of the games that actually sticks out for me, Crusaders.
Do you know what I think would be a bigger shock and would be an even more David and Goliath thing? If Stepney B beats Stepney.
Wow, that would be something. That would be interesting to watch.
And you know what? When we're talking about, we were talking earlier about, team.
But saying that, Stepney B, they've got a lot of youngster players, but I know a lot of the players from Stepney A have moved on to Stepney B, and they can still, some of them, I think, in my opinion, they can still play Stepney A game. So they've got experience in the youth. Stepney, the main team, obviously A team, been looking good as well. So I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I think it'll be a competitive game, because you've got the youth and the experience against a champion.
There is no bigger local derby than that in the whole thing. So if anyone's going to raise their game more than anyone, it's going to be Stepney B against Stepney.
Stepney will give their life on the line, and the Stepney A team would not want to embarrass themselves and lose to the junior side. So for me, that's just a tasty game.
That's the blood and guts game. That is
the other one that catches my eye is Reacher and Hawking Eagle. I think that, obviously, they've got history last season. competing for the first and second place.
And the previous season.
And
yeah.
the Challenge Cup, they lost in the final, and they played each other on numerous occasions. And I think, you know, there's been a few scores to settle, and I think that will just revive this little rivalry they had last 2 seasons.
I think we could call it the El Clasico or something.
Well,
because those two teams, you know.
Richard would not want to lose to Hawk and Eagle, and I know for a fact Hawk and Eagle Cameroons would not want to lose to Richard again. I think so. I think that would be a little grudge match. For me, that's another fixture which should be interesting.
So having said that, are we saying that it's a foregone conclusion that Seoul Youth as a first division side will beat Beaumont as a Prem team?
That you know what, at the moment of time, yesterday Beaumont played a really good game. 3 weeks before that, I've watched them. They were basically pathetic. They were really, really poor. So if they don't perform the way they performed yesterday, then Seoul Youth will take advantage.
Although, having said that, and let me say it to you guys out there, I watched Seoul Youth against Crusaders. I was expecting a high-intensity game, and Seoul Youth, okay, the wind didn't help, but I think Seoul Youth showed too much respect to Crusaders and went down. And just getting a 4-3 over Sire as well.
Yeah. So they're not a threat at the moment of time, but they got youth, they're learning the game itself, they've got a lot of players itself, but Beaumont, I think because of the experience they have and the caliber they have, the squad they have, it's just a matter on the day. Like yesterday they had a full squad, which was compared to the other 3 weeks, it was completely different. So I think on the day they are favourites, but I won't say guaranteed win. Seoul Wolf will give a fight, and because they're second in the league, I think they'll cherish the chance to beat Beaumont, because again, there's another local derby itself, you could call it that way, and I think Shipman will look forward to that game and say, you know what, he'll be looking forward to it and wanting to beat.
Now, here's a stat.
Just before you come in, we have to take a break. We're going to argue amongst ourselves during the break and bring it back to you live in the third section of the show. We'll be back.